My beloved child, listen closely, for heaven is moving in your favor tonight. There is a door, not an ordinary door, but a divine gate that has been sealed for centuries, waiting for the appointed moment. Generations passed by and could not open it. Prophets saw glimpses but were not allowed to step through. Angels stood guard over it, preserving it for a chosen time. And now Archangel Michael stands before you and declares with power, the door has opened for you. Step in before it closes again. This is not coincidence. This is not imagination. This is destiny in motion. The shadows that delayed you tried to hide this door, but they failed. The prayers of your ancestors reached heaven, the tears you cried in silence watered the earth, and the promises written in eternity have converged into this moment. What was impossible for centuries has become possible tonight. What was locked beyond human strength has opened because heaven commanded it. Archangel Michael lifts his blazing sword and points toward the door. It is tall, radiant, shimmering with golden light that pulses like a heartbeat. Every beat says your name. Every glow declares your inheritance. And he whispers, "Child, do not hesitate. This door will not remain open forever. It has opened for you now because the season has aligned. Step through before it closes again." Finally, you realize that this door is not made of wood or stone, it is made of destiny. Behind it are treasures you thought were lost, answers you thought were denied, opportunities you thought belonged to others. Behind it is the restoration of years, the fulfillment of promises, the unveiling of purpose. This door is not just an entrance, it is an inheritance. My beloved, God says, I kept this door closed because the timing was not ready. If I opened it too soon, the blessing would have crushed you instead of blessing you. But now you are strong enough, wise enough, prepared enough. Step through, for what lies beyond belongs to you. You won't believe how much has been waiting behind this door. Laughter that was silenced. Joy that was delayed. Finances that were withheld. Relationships that were divinely ordained. Healing that was promised. A table already set with your name engraved upon the seat. The moment you step in, everything will align. The past will bow to the present, and the future will begin to sing. Archangel Michael's voice shakes the heavens. The door has opened after centuries. Do not stand outside. Do not linger in fear. Do not let doubt steal this moment. Walk in faith, for what is waiting will shock you, restore you, and crown you. My beloved child, this is your hour. This is your invitation. The door is open now, and heaven calls you by name. Step in, before it closes again. My beloved child, as you step forward, your spirit begins to tremble, not in fear, but in awe. The door that stood sealed for centuries groans as it swings wide, and the light pouring out is so bright that it feels alive. It touches your skin like fire, yet it cools your heart like water. Every ray whispers, "You are home. You were meant for this." Finally, you cross the threshold, and what you see leaves you speechless. It is not a room, not a hall, not even a palace, it is an entire realm, waiting only for you. Inside, the air carries the fragrance of promises fulfilled. The ground glitters with seeds you once sowed in tears, now blooming in golden fields. Rivers flow with living water, carrying the echoes of every prayer you ever prayed, returning now as answered songs. Archangel Michael walks beside you, his wings spreading wide, and he says, "This is the place heaven preserved for you." Every delay, every battle, every night you thought would never end, it was all to prepare you for what lies beyond this door. Look closely, child, and you will see that nothing was wasted. Even your pain has been turned into treasure. You turn and notice shelves reaching higher than your eyes can see, filled with scrolls of light. Michael touches one, and it unrolls before you, glowing with fire. Written on it are moments of your life you thought were forgotten, times you helped, times you forgave, times you chose faith over despair. Heaven recorded every detail. None of it vanished into silence. God whispers, "I saw it all. And because of it, I now reward you openly." My beloved, this place is not empty. It is alive with angelic movement. Messengers move swiftly, carrying gifts with your name on them. One brings health wrapped in light. Another brings provision sealed in gold. Another carries restoration in the form of relationships healed and doors unlocked. Each one bows before you, for they know you are the reason this door has opened tonight. You won't believe the table that stands in the center of this realm. It stretches farther than your eyes can measure, laid with food of abundance, cups overflowing with joy, and crowns shining with favor. There is a chair reserved for you at the head, carved with your name, glowing as though it has been waiting for your arrival since time began. Finally, Archangel Michael declares, "Sit, child, for you have entered what was withheld. Feast, for the famine is over. Drink deeply, for the cup of delay has shattered and the cup of blessing overflows." The door behind you remains open, but you feel the urgency in the air, a whisper from heaven that says, "Do not hesitate to receive. Do not waste time questioning why. This is your moment, step fully inside, for the door will not stay open forever." My beloved child, what you are experiencing is not imagination, it is inheritance. The blessings once locked away are now yours to claim. And as you rise in this new realm, you will realize that you are not just walking into abundance, you are walking into your true identity. My beloved child, as you step deeper into this realm beyond the ancient door, you realize that the greatest treasure waiting here is not gold, nor jewels, nor crowns. It is revelation. For what has been hidden from you all these years is not just blessing, but identity. This is the place where heaven reminds you of who you truly are. Finally, the light that fills this realm begins to take shape. It gathers in front of you like a mirror made of fire and water. You look into it, and what you see takes your breath away. It is you, but not the you shaped by wounds, delays, and disappointments. This is the you that heaven wrote before time began. Radiant. Chosen. Fearless. Anointed. Your reflection burns with authority, clothed in garments of light that fit you perfectly, as though they were woven into your soul before birth. Archangel Michael places his hand on your shoulder and speaks softly, "Child, this is why the door was locked for centuries. If it had opened too soon, you would have walked in without knowing who you are. Now you see yourself as heaven sees you, no longer broken, no longer delayed, no longer hidden. You are crowned, commissioned, and unstoppable. The air itself begins to hum with prophecy. Scrolls unfurl above your head, each one containing words spoken over your life by heaven long before you entered the world. Promises of greatness, visions of healing, decrees of victory. They swirl around you like banners in the wind, and one by one they descend, resting upon your shoulders. God whispers, "This is your mantle. Wear it. Walk in it." The world has yet to see the fullness of who you are, but heaven has always known. My beloved, you now understand why the battles were so intense. The shadows tried to convince you that you were ordinary, that you were forgotten, that you were small. But in truth, you carry a purpose so vast that time itself had to wait until this exact hour to release it. The door was not delayed, it was reserved. Reserved for the moment when you would no longer doubt, but believe. Archangel Michael draws his sword and points it at your reflection. See it, child. This is not a dream. This is your true identity. Walk in it boldly, for the nations are waiting. Generations are waiting. The earth itself groans for the manifestation of who you are. You won't believe how much shifts in your spirit as you accept this truth. The insecurities that clung to you for years suddenly melt like wax. The fear of failure collapses like dust in the wind. The doubt that whispered at every turn goes silent, unable to survive in the atmosphere of destiny. For the first time, you feel the weight of peace, the peace that comes when your soul finally agrees with heaven's decree. Finally, the Spirit of God speaks like a trumpet over the realm. Rise, my child, for you are no longer wandering. You are no longer searching. You are found, you are chosen, you are sent. This is the hour for your true story to begin. Archangel Michael raises his sword high, and the realm shakes with applause, not from people, but from creation itself. The skies, the rivers, the fields, the stars, all celebrate the unveiling of your true identity. And you, beloved child, step forward with new confidence, knowing the world will never see you the same way again. My beloved child, once your true identity is revealed, nothing around you can remain the same. For light cannot rise within a soul and leave the world untouched. The moment you accept who heaven says you are, that truth begins to ripple outward. Every relationship, every environment, every opportunity starts to align with the new authority you carry. Finally, you begin to see it. The shift is not only internal but external. The atmosphere itself changes around you. Where once there was resistance, now there is welcome. Where once doors refused to budge, now they swing wide as if recognizing your presence. The same roads that once felt heavy beneath your feet now rise up to carry you. Heaven whispers, child, the earth knows you now. It recognizes the light you carry. Archangel Michael walks with you and explains, the identity revealed in this place is not for you alone. It is meant to transform everything connected to you. Your family will feel it. Your home will carry it. Even your work, your dreams, your finances will be touched by this revelation. Because when one chosen vessel awakens, entire generations shift. As you look around, you begin to notice streams flowing from your feet, streams of light, alive and sparkling. Wherever you step, the ground drinks the light, and barren places bloom with new life. Dry fields grow green. Silent houses echo with laughter again. Broken hearts feel mended just by standing near you. My beloved, God says, the blessing I placed upon you is contagious. It was never meant to stay locked inside you. It flows outward, touching all who cross your path. You won't believe how people begin to respond. Those who once dismissed you now return, drawn by something they cannot explain. Strangers feel peace just by hearing your voice. Even enemies lose their grip, unable to fight against the radiance of God's favor shining on you. And those who love you will rise with you, because the overflow of your blessing lifts them higher too. Finally, the Spirit of God reveals a greater truth. Child, you are not just walking in favor, you are carrying my atmosphere. Wherever you go, my presence goes. You are a carrier of restoration, a messenger of joy, a vessel of healing. Your life will now be a sanctuary for others. Archangel Michael raises his sword and declares, from this moment forward, no place you enter will remain unchanged. Your steps are holy. Your words carry weight. Your presence is proof of heaven's promise. You have become a living sign, and the world will be transformed because you stepped through the door. My beloved child, walk boldly. For the light within you will not only guide your path, it will ignite the paths of many others. Your identity is not just revelation, it is revolution. My beloved child, when you stepped through the ancient door, you thought this moment was only for you. But heaven smiles and whispers, this is bigger than you. This is for the ones who will come after you. This is for the generations attached to your name. This is for the legacy that will outlive your breath. Finally, you understand why the door remained locked for centuries. It was not only protecting blessings for you, it was preserving inheritance for your children, and your children's children, and even for those who will never meet you yet will live in the light of your obedience. This moment is not an isolated miracle, it is the beginning of a river that will flow through generations. Archangel Michael stands tall beside you, his wings unfolding like a shield that stretches over your family line. He declares, the curses that stalked your bloodline have fallen. The cycles that repeated again and again have been broken. The shadow that delayed you will not touch those who come after you. The battle you fought was not only for yourself, it was for them. And because you stepped through the door, they will walk in freedom. Look closely, beloved, a vision unfolds before your eyes. You see children running across fields that once were barren. You see their laughter echoing where silence used to reign. You see homes filled with peace where strife once lived. You see doors opening for them without the struggle you endured. And God whispers, this is your legacy. Because you endured, they will flourish. Because you stood, they will soar. My beloved, your obedience tonight rewrote your family's story. Where there was delay, there will be acceleration. Where there was shame, there will be honor. Where there was lack, there will be abundance. And where there was silence, there will be songs of praise. You are the turning point. You are the hinge on which the generations swing. You are the reason the story will no longer read of bondage but of blessing. You won't believe how far this legacy stretches. It is not only for your bloodline but for those spiritually connected to you. Strangers who hear your testimony will feel courage rise within them. People who walk with you will inherit favor because of the light you carry. Even communities will shift as your presence releases ripple after ripple of transformation. Finally, the Spirit of God says, I do not just bless a moment, I bless a lineage. What I have given you is not fragile. It is eternal. It will pass through you like fire through branches, lighting torch after torch, generation after generation. Archangel Michael raises his blazing sword and proclaims, this child is no longer just a receiver of blessing, they are the fountainhead of a legacy. Their name will be remembered not for defeat but for deliverance. Their children will call them blessed, and nations will rise because of the door that opened tonight. My beloved child, know this truth, your life is not ending here, it is multiplying. What was locked for centuries has opened, and what you carry now will echo in eternity. My beloved child, what began as a single step through an ancient door has now become more than a story of your life. It has become a prophecy written across eternity. For heaven does not merely bless moments, it seals them as eternal testimonies, echoes that cannot be silenced, decrees that cannot be erased. Finally, you begin to realize, your life is not just your own. It is heaven's message to earth, a divine letter carried by angels, a living prophecy unfolding line by line. What you thought was a private breakthrough is actually a public declaration in the courts of heaven. Your obedience has written words into the eternal book, words that generations and even nations will read. Archangel Michael stands before you, his armor gleaming brighter than fire, and proclaims, Child, the door you entered has not only changed your life, it has altered the records of eternity. Your name has been spoken in heaven's chambers. Your story is now an anthem sung by angels. Your breakthrough has become a prophecy that will resound until the end of time. You lift your eyes and see scrolls unfurling in the skies above, glowing with living words. They are the sentences heaven has written because of your faith. Words like restored, chosen, unstoppable, crowned, victorious. Each word bursts like a star, sending ripples through galaxies. Creation itself rejoices, for it recognizes the fulfillment of prophecy. My beloved, God says, I do not measure your life in years, I measure it in impact. What you birth by stepping through that door will never die. It will speak long after your voice is silent. It will breathe long after your lungs rest. It will shine long after your eyes close. For I have made your life an eternal flame, and no darkness can put it out. You won't believe the vision that unfolds next. You see choirs of angels standing in ranks, singing your story as worship before the throne. They declare not your struggles, but your victory. Not your delays, but your breakthrough. Not your tears, but your crown. Heaven itself uses your testimony as proof that God still intervenes, that light still breaks chains, that destiny still rises from the ashes. Finally, the Spirit of God whispers, this is what it means to be chosen. To live a life that earth will remember and heaven will record. To carry a story that will outlast time. To walk not only as a child of dust, but as a vessel of eternity. Archangel Michael raises his sword high, and a sound like thunder rolls across the heavens. This child's story is prophecy. This breakthrough is eternal. This door will never again be closed. What was locked for centuries has now been written into eternity, and the testimony shall echo forever. My beloved child, walk in peace, for your life has become more than a journey, it has become a prophecy sung by heaven itself. My beloved child, now that heaven has declared your life a prophecy, it does not end there. For prophecy is not just words spoken, it is fire ignited. And that fire, once lit, becomes an eternal flame. Your life is no longer simply a testimony, it is a living altar where God's glory burns, a light that cannot be hidden, a fire that will never be extinguished. Finally, you understand why the delays and battles were so fierce. The enemy feared this fire, because once it was lit, it would spread uncontrollably. It would leap from your heart to your family, from your family to your community, from your community to generations, until the world itself would glow with its light. This was never about your survival, it was always about your flame. Archangel Michael kneels before the altar of your life, his sword lowered in reverence, and says, "Child, you are no longer just a receiver of blessing. You are now a keeper of fire." The door that opened for you was not just a passage, it was an ignition. The eternal flame has been entrusted to you. Guard it. Carry it. Shine it. You look and see it, a flame burning above your head, yet it does not consume you. It dances with colors no human eye has ever fully seen, gold, sapphire, and living white. Each flicker tells a story. One flicker sings of the tears you cried. Another flicker declares the victories you won. Another blazes with the prayers of those who loved you. And together, they rise as a single, unending flame that the winds of time cannot extinguish. My beloved, God says, this fire will be your signature. Wherever you walk, people will feel its warmth. Wherever you speak, hearts will be set ablaze. Wherever you pray, chains will melt in its heat. For I have made your life a living altar, and this flame will testify of me forever.